Well, hey church, today's devotional comes to us from Isaiah 53. And Isaiah 53 is really the biography of the coming Messiah. The prophet Isaiah wrote his book about 720 years before Christ. And it's a prophecy that briefly describes the Messiah's arrival, his rejection, his death, and resurrection. And it's actually known as the forbidden chapter to the Jewish people. They're not allowed to read it or ask questions about it, so they just kind of gloss and skip over it. But really the idea of the Messiah backs up into chapter 49, where Isaiah introduces a mysterious figure. And he calls this mysterious figure God's servant. And his servant is going to fulfill God's mission and do what Israel failed to do. So God sends him on a mission to restore the people of Israel back to God and to be a light to the nations. And then in Isaiah 53, we learn exactly how this servant is going to accomplish this. He's going to be rejected and beaten and ultimately killed by his own people. So it says, "Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace, and with his wounds we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all." But the chapter doesn't end there. Starting in verse 10, and after this servant's death, he's just suddenly alive again. It's great news. And we read that by his death, he provided a way to make people right with God. But the question is this: who is this mysterious servant? Well, praise God that the suffering servant is Christ, who Isaiah says bears the sins of many. So today and every day, praise God that Christ really came as a suffering servant. He lived the perfect life that you and I could not. He died the death that we deserve so that we could be forgiven of our sin and to be restored to right relationship with the Father. So today represents a day of silence, but Sunday is coming. So join us at Northland Baptist Church Easter Sunday at 8, 9, or 10:30, and let's celebrate together that Christ is risen.